வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன் குரு வாழ்க குருவே துணை. I am Dr. Lavanya. I am a homeopathic doctor and I have completed my PG in physiology. So right now I am working in Vedatri Maharshi College of Yoga. So I welcome you all for this session. So in this session we are going to see with unit 5 from basic anatomy and physiology. So in this session, we are going to see in detail how yogic practices are contributing your body mechanisms. Especially, we are going to see the impact of yogic practice on human anatomy and physiology. So the agenda of this today's session will be first we will be learning about each and every impact of yogic practice in detail in cell level and in skin and musculoskeletal system and many other systems in your body and how it is contributing the body mechanism, and you will be also seeing with some question and answers with objective type. And in the lesson overview, we'll be seeing in detail about how this practice of yogic practices will help to reduce your stress, and you will be seeing in scientific way. Not only that, we will also be learning with certain yogic postures like asanas, pranayama, and meditation, how it is helping in your physiological mechanism of your body. And not only that, we'll be learning about pranayama and the respiratory efficiency, and how it is helping in your immune mechanism, and how yoga is balancing your autonomic nervous system. So while completing this session, you will be understanding in detail about how these yogic practices are influencing your body in various systems, and not only that, you will be understanding the impact of yogic practice in a scientific way when you learn this unit. And first we can start with the impact of yogic practice from the basic parts of your body, that is cells, bones, joint, muscle and skin. So when you come to skin, so the regular practice of all the yogic practices, first it is improving the oxygen and nutrition supply to each and every part of the body, or especially every cell, because all the yogic practice improves your blood circulation. Not only that, in the cellular level, the mitochondrial function will be enhanced and the cell repairing function will be better. And not only that, in the cellular level, it will reduce the oxidative stress and inflammation in the cellular level. So the cell will be performing better in every action, so that what happens is the life period of the cell, not only that, the function of the cell will be highly improved because of the improved circulation in your body. So example, when you do pranayama and meditation and certain asanas, these functions will be improved. And when you come to bone, so regular practice of yoga, yogic practices will help to increase your bone density and strength. And not only that, it will be helping in the calcium absorption, and also it will be helping to align your postures, and these things will reduce any disorders related to bone and joints, so that you can prevent many other diseases related to this system, especially the osteoporosis, arthritis will be mainly prevented, or if it is there, it can also be reduced. And especially you have special asanas for this, such as weight bearing asanas, tree pose and then warrior pose. And next we are going to see with joint. And in joint, when you do regular practices of yogic practice, you will be enhancing the synovial fluid production. So when you have enough amount of synovial fluid production, it is also helping in joint flexibility, and that it is reducing the stiffness in your joints, and especially the arthritis or any other joint pain will be prevented, or if it is there, it can be also reduced to a greater extent. So there are special asanas for this joint, especially your dynamic stretches like Surya Namaskar and many other asanas, and also gentle rotation will help in the joint well-being. And when you come to muscular system, regular practices will help you to build a muscle strength and the tone of the muscle will be better. And not only that, it will be increasing the flexibility and range of motion in the muscle, and not only that, it will be reducing the muscle tension, and easy fatigue of the muscle will be reduced. Especially the asanas such as holding and stretching posture will help in building the muscle strength and the tone of the muscle. And you have many postures like plank posture, and then cobra posture, downward dog posture. So these will be helping in the muscle strength and function. So when you come to the function of skin, so mainly the yogic practice will increase the blood circulation to the skin, so that the skin will promote the detoxification very easily through sweating and through improving the lymphatic flow in the skin. Not only that, the skin issues can be reduced, many other skin diseases can be prevented, and many other skin diseases can be reduced to a greater extent. Not only that, the wrinkles can be reduced, and then the complexion of skin will be improved. Especially pranayama and then the inverted postures and meditation will help in this skin betterment or in the skin health. So when you come to, especially when you see with yogic practices and cardiovascular system, so especially the heart is functioning in a better level, and it is also helping you to maintain a various diseases in your body. It is helping you to reduce it. So when you see with the impact of yogic practice in cardiovascular system, first is the heart rate will be better maintained, especially it is helping in the lowering the resting heart rate, and it is improving the heart rate variability. And there are many studies which has been proved to show the impact of yogic practice in cardiovascular system, especially in heart rate. And especially it is helped by pranayama or many other slow and deep breathing practices and meditation. And next is when you see with the blood pressure, the cardiovascular system is mainly helping to reduce the high blood pressure such as hypertension, and especially it is promoting vascular relaxation. It means that the yogic practice will improve the supply of blood through the blood vessels by more relaxing function, so that there will not be any pressure created by the blood. So that especially the relaxation technique in yogic practice and certain gentle asanas and pranayamas will be helping to maintain a better blood pressure. And another one thing is when you come with blood circulation, there will be increased or enhanced blood flow, especially in the peripheral blood vessel and also in the central blood vessels. So it when the all over the circulation of blood will be improved through yogic practice, so that there will be more oxygen delivery to the cells, which is very very essential for every cell. Especially many dynamic asanas like Surya Namaskar and inverted posture will be helping in this. So next one is stress hormone. So usually practicing the yogic practice will reduce the stress hormone in your body, especially cortisol and adrenaline, which is main hormone for fight and flight mechanism. So that what happens is this reduce in turn the stress in the cardiovascular system, so that the heart is having a better function. Especially meditation, mindfulness practice will help in this level. And next one is cholesterol and lipid profile. So it is very important to maintain the cholesterol level in your body, and especially the LDL cholesterol, and increase in the HDL levels will be increased in your body, and then the LDL cholesterol will be reduced in the body when you have a good yogic practice. This is also indirectly impacting the heart function by reducing the deposits over the blood vessels of heart by the cholesterol. So what happens is regular yogic practice combined with lifestyle changes make a better heart by reducing the cholesterol level. So when you come to respiratory system, there are many impact of yogic practice in respiratory system in a detailed way, because yogic practice include pranayama, breath practice, and even with asanas you are practicing along with breath, so that it has a direct impact on cardiovascular system and respiratory system. So when you want to know with impact of yogic practice in respiratory system, first one is lung capacity. So your lung capacity will be increased, especially it is increasing the vital capacity, tidal volume, and overall lung efficiency will be improved. So what happens is there will be a better function of lungs for holding and then for exchange of gases and then releasing of gases. And then especially pranayama, anulom vinulom pranayama, bastrika, and then deep breathing will be helping in this maintaining of good lung capacity. And next one is respiratory muscle strength. So it is very important for the muscles which is present around the diaphragm, respiratory lungs, especially the in the intercostal muscles and also diaphragm, and also accessory breathing muscles are present. So these are helping for the expansion of lungs by extending the muscles and also by contracting the muscles. So when you are doing proper yogic practices, especially Kapalabhati and Ujjayi breathing, this is directly acting upon the muscles over the respiratory system to for helping for the gaseous exchange. And next one is oxygen exchange efficiency. So what do you mean by oxygen exchange efficiency is the lungs perform in a better level so that there are more alveolar exchange which is happening, so that there is improved blood saturation, that is improved oxygen saturation which is happening. So it is very important for every cell to receive more amount of oxygen so that every part of the body will be functioning better, and also you will be very active and energetic. So this oxygen exchange efficiency is very important. By practicing so rhythmic retention of Kumbhaka and many other pranayama practice, you can see with oxygen exchange efficiency. And next one is breath rate. So usually breath rate is very important for promoting efficient and relaxed breathing. So here also the resting respiratory rate is maintained properly, and especially Nadi Shodhana, mindfulness and breath awareness will help in this maintenance of breathing rate. And next one is airway function. So airway function is nothing but when you do yogic practice, it is improving the airway clearance, especially bronchi, bronchioles, especially from the nasal passage till the bronchi and bronchiole, you have a passage for airway, and this airway passage will be cleared when you are doing proper pranayama and many other practices like asana, because this nasal passage, when it is very clear without phlegm, you can see there is a proper exchange of gases. But when you are having any phlegm or in between these nasal passages, you can see that the people will be suffering with asthma, bronchitis. So these things will be affecting the exchange of gases, and especially asanas and pranayamas will help you for the better airway function. So not only that, there are many other functions of respiratory system. Another one is stress-related respiration. So when the patient or the people are having any stress, there you can see that the patient is undergoing hyperventilation, and you can see that there will be some respiratory distress in breathing, and some people will undergo shallow breathing during this type of uh, stress related respiration. So what happens is when you do proper yogic practice, you can reduce this hypertension, you can reduce the shallow breathing, you can reduce the stress induced respiratory distress, and especially meditation, yoga nidra and pranayama practice will help you to overcome this stress related respiration. And when you come to autonomic nervous system, so autonomic nervous system, especially you have sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic increases everything. So it is very important to enhance the parasympathetic function to come to balance. So when you practice pranayama and many other yogic practices, you can see that the parasympathetic function is enhancing, so that it is improving the involuntary control over a breathing practice. And then you can even in pranayama, when you have a long exhalation ratio, and in bandhas and locks, you can see the enhancement of parasympathetic function. And next one is respiratory endurance. So respiratory endurance is the breath holding capacity So when you are properly regular practice of pranayama, especially, and many other asana practice, especially kumbhaka and breath holding practices, many, and then Surya Namaskar, it will improve the stamina, and also it will improve the breath holding capacity. Especially it may be very very essential in any sports person or athletes person or singers where you need the breath hold or breath stamina. So there you can see you can give a lot of breath, respiratory endurance will be improved, and not only that, many other respiratory disorders will be cured when you are doing a regular practice of pranayama, especially chronic respiratory disorders like COPD, that is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, asthma, sinusitis, bronchitis. Many other respiratory diseases can be reduced when you are regularly practicing this type of pranayama and asana practice, or many other yogic practice is also there. So especially you can go with any guided breath work, steam inhalation, gentle asanas and kriyas. So many other practices will be helping together for a better respiratory function. So we have seen in detail with cardiovascular system and respiratory system. Now altogether we can see how every yogic practice is helping in your body in different systems in various level. So first we can go with nervous system. So when you do proper yogic practices such as meditation, mindfulness practice, relaxation, pranayama and asanas, so these practices will reduce your sympathetic overactivity and it will reduce the cortisol stress hormone in your body. And not only that, it will improve the parasympathetic tone so that your body is undergoing more relaxation. And not only that, when you practice regular yogic practices, it will enhance the concentration, memory power, and it will improve the sleep quality in you. And not only that, it will help you to manage certain disease conditions like anxiety, depression, and neurological disorders. So it is very important for yogic practices to be practiced daily because it is giving a greater impact in each and every system of your body. So next we can go to endocrine system, how the yogic practices is influencing endocrine system. Endocrine system, as you know, it is the main system which is helping you to produce hormones, which is helping to maintain the homeostasis in your body. And now when you do certain asanas like Sarvangasana, Halasana, especially these asanas will stimulate your thyroid gland, and meditation and pranayamas. Not only that, there are many asanas to improve the function of each and every endocrine gland. So altogether, when you perform such yogic practices, it will balance the secretion of hormones, especially from adrenal, thyroid, pituitary, and reproductive gland. Not only that, it will regulate the cortisol secretion in your body, and also it will enhance your insulin level in your body, and it is improving the stress response and metabolism. So that what happens when the endocrine glands is performing well, all over your body metabolism is improved. And not only that, it will also enhance the reproductive function, it will regulate your menstrual activity, and also it will maintain your weight control. So next we are going to the special senses. So especially there are many practices which is enhancing the function of special senses, especially Trataka, where you do focused meditation and eye movements, palming, and then mindful meditation. Here, whatever we have given as an examples of yogic technique is very limited, but there are many yogic practice which can be included for every improvement of different systems. So we are giving only examples in how this practice is influencing the every system. So other than that, you are open to know and write many other asanas, many other yogic practices which is influencing the different systems of your body. So now we can start with the special senses. So special senses, when you are doing yogic practices, especially as we saw Trataka, meditation and palming and mindfulness, it will improve the sensory awareness, and also it will improve the vision, acuity of the vision is improved, eye strain is reduced, and the fatigue is reduced, and it is enhancing the focus and sensory processing. Not only that, it is helping to relax the sensory organ, and it is also helping to reduce the headache and migraine in your body. So now we are coming to respiratory system and digestive system. Even though we have seen earlier in detail, here also we are discussing some about respiratory system. So when you do pranayama, anulom vilolom pranayama, brahmari, and deep breathing, and many other breath retention techniques, and not only that, when you practice any asanas or any other yogic practice along with breathing, first is it will improve your lung capacity, it will improve your lung ventilation, and the respiratory muscle is getting strengthened. So that what happens, because of this, the oxygen exchange and carbon dioxide exchange is removed, so that there will be more intake of oxygen and more removal of carbon dioxide. And then what happens is, it is maintaining your respiratory rate level, and it is also improving the breath control level, and it is also helping to reduce certain disorders such as asthma and bronchitis. So it is having a greater impact when you are doing such yogic practice in respiratory system. And next, when you go to digestive system, especially bending asanas, forward bending, backward bending, or twisting postures like Matsendrasana and Paschimottanasana, and any belly massages. So there are many practices which is influencing your digestive system. So in your digestive system, your regular yogic practice will stimulate certain digestive enzymes, and it will improve the peristalsis movement, and it will enhance the digestion process. And so that what happens, automatically there will be absorption of nutrient, and then your constipation will be mostly reduced when you are doing regular yogic practice, and then acidity can be reduced, bloating problems will be coming to regulation, and especially by abdominal massages, you can regulate the gut motility, and then you can help in the healthy gut flora. So likewise, it is helping in digestive system. Now we can see with excretory system. So excretory system, as we know, mainly the function is only to removal of waste products from your body by formation of a better urine elimination. So especially inverted asanas, gentle twist postures, and then forward bending asanas. So these asanas will be helping mainly in your better function of your kidney. So that what happens is, when the kidney is functioning better, automatically the filtration process will become better, and then the detoxification will be happening very easily because of increased blood flow to kidney, and then urine elimination will be easier, and then the fluid retention will be better. And not only that, it will also stimulating the lymphatic drainage system for the removal of toxin, so that altogether it is maintaining a proper electrolyte balance in your body. And next, when you come to hematological system, especially blood, so when you are doing certain dynamic practice like Surya Namaskar, Pranayama, and many other practices, you can see there is improved circulation in the blood flow in all over parts of the body, and it is also removing the blood stagnation which is happening in different parts of the body when you have a long prolonged standing, or when you are long prolonged sitting, so that there will be improper blood flow. These blood flow are corrected during proper yogic practice, so that every tissues or every cells are getting enough amount of oxygen and nutrient support. And then not only that, it is promoting the healthy production and regulation of blood cells. That is, the blood cells will be produced in a healthy manner, and it will also have a healthy function. Not only that, it will be supporting the immune function by improved lymphatic circulation. So these are some of the hematological system is getting better when you perform yogic practice regularly. And next we are coming to locomotor system, that is joints, bones, and muscles. So you have many strengthening asanas like Virabhadrasana, and then flexing postures like Paschimottanasana, and balancing postures like Vrikshasana. So there are many other asanas too. So these practices will strengthen the skeletal muscle, and it will improve the muscle tone in your body, and it will enhance the joint flexibility, mobility in your body, and it will improve the lubrication in your body. And not only that, it will be promoting the bone density, and so that the risk of osteoporosis is reduced, and it will improve the posture and balance and coordination, so that what happens is the injury and risk is reduced in your body. And the next one is body metabolism. Altogether, your body metabolic rate will be improved, and especially by the dynamic breath control, and then due to improved digestion in your body, due to improved nutrition assimilation in your body, and then regulation of blood sugar, lipid metabolism, your overall stamina, your overall vitality, your overall energy will be improved when you are doing regular yogic practice. So now we are coming to the end of the session. So we can verify your learning through certain objective questions. Which branch of nervous system is primarily activated during restorative yoga and pranayama, leading to your rest and digest state? So hope you know the answer. Yes, it is parasympathetic nervous system. So next is yoga helps the immune system by reducing the level of which the stress hormone known to suppress the leukocyte activity. So you hope you know the answer. Option A, it is cortisol. So now we are coming to the summary of the session. Hope you would have understood how yogic practice is influencing your body in a deeper level by seeing each and every system in detail. So now we have understood that it is very important to practice all the yogic practices in our life for a better health and also longevity, not only that, for a better clarity. So these are some of the reference books for your material. So hope you had a happy learning. Thank you. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.